Now tasting the 2017 Montagny. Where is Montagny? Montagny is just south of the famous Côte d'Or. So we are in Burgundy, but we move a little bit south to the Côte Chalonnaise. The Côte Chalonnaise is that region producing Rully, Givry, Mercurey, and Montagny. This one in particular is interesting because it comes from Montagny, where there's only Chardonnay produced, where Rully you can have Pinot and Chardonnay, but Montagny it's entirely Chardonnay. And how do we produce this wine? That is very classic Chardonnay production. Fruit is picked and pressed, and the juice will go to oak barrels with a very small proportion of new oak. You don't want to overwhelm the wine with oak. So it will just ferment natural yeast in the barrels, and then we will check on the fermentation and malolactic fermentation. And the wine will stay for 10, 12 months in the barrels, and then we bottle the wine. And this fruit comes from partners. So we buy the fruit, we don't own the vineyard, we buy the fruit. And also a few words on the vintage. 2017 was a very nice vintage. It was the first time in a long time that we finally had a very decent crop. So it's a vintage that I like very much. I like the kindness of the vintage. I like the purity of the flavors. It's really a lovely. How's this wine tasting? We're currently, it's a combination of this lovely ripe vintage and this area that is surrounded by forest and little fields, and so it's not a cold region. So that combined makes a wine that is very generous in flavors. You find some honeysuckle, some ripe pear, some very lovely ample mouthfeel. So one that has a fairly nice long finish actually, and pairing with that I just like the classic grilled fish, poisson grillé, that I like the texture of the fish that just combines very well with the wine.